Welcome back to the Imperfect Dollar. I'm Brittany. Today I want to talk to you about 10 grocery items that you need to stock up on before their prices increase further or they disappear from store shelves due to the tariffs that President Trump has imposed within the last couple of months. If you don't know this already, President Trump has implemented a 145% whopping tax on imports from China and a 10% blanket tax on imports from other countries. That means that as the consumer, we are going to feel the pinch because it's going to come back to all of us who buy these items. You need to stock up on these items now before you're not either able to afford them or they are totally gone from store shelves. Now, most adults that I know, after they wake up in the morning, they either make a cup of coffee or they go to their local coffee shop to get one for themselves. So that way they get that boost of energy to start their day. Or whenever they're feeling a little bit sluggish or tired, they'll drink a cup of coffee to help them feel better and just sort of reset. Now, coffee is imported into the US mostly from Colombia and Brazil, and the Trump administration has threatened in the past to bring up the tariff to 25%. It has already increased due to the blanket tariff, but it is expected that it may increase some more. And some coffee companies have already raised their prices. So if you love coffee, especially if you like to get it from the grocery store, stock up on it now before coffee and prices increase. And if you like to get it from your local coffee shop, just expect that those prices are going to unfortunately go up a little bit more. If you don't know this about me already, I love chocolate. I love eating chocolate bars, chocolate cake, chocolate candy, chocolate cheesecake. It can be in anything and everything. I love chocolate, especially hot cocoa in the wintertime. I just have to have it. I like it better than tea, and yeah, I'll pass on coffee for hot chocolate any day. Now, in April 2025, the US government implemented a series of tariffs that affected chocolate and cocoa imports. A 10% baseline on imports for most countries, which you know of already, and a 20% tariff on chocolate products from the European Union, along with a 31% tariff on confectionery from Switzerland and a 21% tariff on cocoa imports from the Ivory Coast, the world's largest cocoa producer. So if you like to use cocoa or chocolate in any of the desserts or dishes that you make, it's time to make sure that you get some of those from the grocery store now. The third thing that you should be stocking up on is rice because it's mainly imported from places like Asia, China, India, Thailand, Pakistan, and even Vietnam. In April 2025, the US government imposed a 36% tariff on Thai rice imports and up to 245% tariffs on India and China. So that means rice is definitely going to increase in price. Cheese prices are also expected to rise in 2025 due to the newly imposed tariffs on imported dairy products. A 20% tariff has been imposed on cheeses imported from the European Union countries. This affects popular varieties such as Parmigiano, Reggiano, Brie, and Gouda. The European cheese industry is concerned about losing market share in the US due to the tariffs, which could lead to higher prices for consumers. Canada and Mexico also import cheese to the US. A 25% tariff has been implemented on dairy products imported from Canada and Mexico. This includes various cheeses that are part of the 1.2 billion annual dairy trade between these countries and the US. These tariffs are expected to increase the cost of imported cheeses from these neighboring countries, and retailers like Albertsons are attempting to mitigate prices by pressuring suppliers to absorb the additional cost. However, this strategy may not be sustainable in the long term, potentially leading to higher prices for consumers. We're going to notice price hikes on imported cheeses, particularly specialty and gourmet varieties. Domestic cheese producers might also adjust their pricing in response to the reduced competition from imports. At least about 25% of the dishes that I probably cook require me to use some type of oil. I like to use avocado oil, olive oil, vegetable oil, and sometimes coconut oil. Oils in the US are expected to rise as well, and most of them are imported from Canada, Indonesia, and Spain. These countries supply various cooking oils, including canola, palm, and olive oils. If you use oil to cook some of your food like I do, then you need to head over to the store and get a couple of gallons of oil at a cheaper price right now. There's nothing wrong with drinking a glass of wine every now and again. And even having a glass of red wine is supposed to be good for your health. Now, the US imports wine from the European Union, South Africa, and China, and it has imposed higher taxes on all of those countries. These tariffs will increase the cost of importing wine, leading to higher prices for consumers, which is us, of course, again. U.S. importers must pay the tariffs upon arrival of goods, which can strain their financial resources and potentially lead to higher retail prices. So it's time to stock up on your favorite wine. Another item that you'll want to look out for and stock up on are spices. We add spices to the meals that we're cooking and the dishes that we're eating for flavor. Now, there are a lot of spices that you can actually grow in pots and even in your own backyard that are really easy to dry and then store in a dark and cool place so that way you can use them throughout the year. But if you're going to buy them from the store, you need to be careful because India, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Mexico all import spices to the US. India imports black pepper, turmeric, and chili powder. China, star anise, Szechuan peppercorns, and garlic powder, which I know I use a lot of. Vietnam, cinnamon and black pepper. Indonesia, nutmeg, cloves, and mace. And Mexico, oregano, vanilla, and chili powders. I definitely use vanilla for cakes and oregano for whenever I'm making spaghetti or lasagna. All of these are set to increase due to the tariffs that were imposed on these countries. All canned goods in the US are expected to increase in price as well because the US has implemented a 25% tariff on imported steel and aluminum, which are essential materials for manufacturing cans. Approximately 70% of steel used to produce cans in the US is imported. These tariffs elevate production costs for can manufacturers, leading to higher price for canned goods. Now, I know I like to buy a lot of canned beans and canned corn, canned string beans, carrots, and a bunch of other canned food. This is definitely going to affect my family and I. Let me know in the comments below if this is going to affect you as well. Industry analysis suggests that these tariffs could raise the price of canned goods by up to 30% per can, which translates to an increase of up to 58 cents per item. And you know that some of these cans are going to increase more than 58 cents per item, depending on the company and where it's being imported from. These tariffs contribute to inflationary pressures affecting not only canned goods, but also other products that rely on steel and aluminum packaging, such as beverages and certain dairy products, too. You may or may not want to stock up on this item. It all depends if you like to use it in dishes that you bake or you cook. And I can guarantee you, though, even if you don't cook or bake with it, that you're still going to feel the pinch of the price increase because I'm sure there are things that you buy that include it, such as desserts or yogurts or different dishes that you get from restaurants. That item is vanilla. The US has imposed a 47% tariff on vanilla imports from Madagascar. This substantial tariff has led to increased costs for vanilla products, affecting various sectors. Bakeries and dessert shops rely on high quality imported vanilla. They're going to face a financial strain that's going to come down to us, the consumers of their products, their desserts that they sell, their cakes, right? Their ice cream. Food manufacturers, producers of ice cream, yogurt, and other vanilla flavored products, are also going to experience higher ingredient costs. And prices for vanilla extract, beans, and flavored goods are expected to rise as well. How can you save money on this? Try to buy it in bulk so that way it will cost you less, or try to use alternatives to vanilla. I can't eat pancakes or waffles dry. I have to add something on top, and usually it's maple syrup. In March 2025, the US imposed a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods, which includes maple syrup. So that means it probably increased a little bit already. If you like maple syrup, now is the time to stock up on it. Make sure that you buy it in bulk to save yourself some money. Or you can try some other alternatives like agave syrup or honey that may be less affected by the tariffs. But I like my maple syrup, so I'm going to start buying it in bulk so that way I'm less affected by all of the levies that have been put on these items. Now, let me know in the comments below which item are you going to stock up on because of all the new tariffs. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and you want to see more videos like this. And of course, subscribe to the channel too if you haven't already. Check out this video next. I think that you're going to enjoy it. I'll see you guys next time.